Welcome to this lesson where we are going to use India ink to create images using only 3 values plus white. We're going to be doing this macaw and a foresty background, middle ground, foreground landscape. I got the reference photo of the macaw from unsplash.com, where you can get free photos. They are in the public domain and they are free to use. I then posterized it, which is a feature that you can use on Photoshop or various websites to break the image down into as many or as few values as you would like. In this case, 4. So after cutting out my macaw, I am going to add some graphite to the back of it around where the eye is. This is because I'm going to transfer that eye onto my paper. The eye is pretty important, and if we don't have that in the exact location, this macaw is going to look funky and not in a good way. I'm going to lightly trace around the silhouette of this macaw. I'll trace over top of that eye shape. Now I'll have the exact location of the eye, and I'll know to keep it as white as possible for now. I'm going to take my lightest value, other than white, and basically just do a quick wash over top of that silhouette, trying to fill all of it in, but allowing there to be some little flecks of white here and there. In the original image, I do see that there's tiny little peaks of white every once in a while, especially in that wing area, so I want to try to keep that there. And for now, I'm avoiding the eye completely. India ink dries extremely quickly, and unlike watercolor, once it has dried, you cannot move it and reactivate it. Now we can take a quick second to clean up our image by erasing any of those leftover graphite lines. And my little buddy Jasper apparently wanted to make an appearance as well. So now you're going to plot out your next value layer. You can do this either by continuing that graphite technique, which is what I will demonstrate in this video, or you can freehand it and sketch it right onto the silhouette that you've created, or you could even just be daring and go right in with your brush if you feel that confident. It's totally up to you. In this case, I have put the graphite on the back of my paper, and now I'm just sketching out some of the areas where I'm noticing that mid-tone of gray. This is mostly at the top of the head, a bit around the eye and beak, and lots down in that wing. You can always take a quick peek to see if you're happy with it, redraw any of the graphite lines if that helps you out. We are still avoiding the eye completely and leaving that as white as possible. I'm using the little sketch marks that I made as guidelines. As well, I have my original photo really close, and my eyes keep darting back and forth between the original and my composition. These parrots are not identical twins. They are siblings or cousins. The goal here is not to get every single detail exactly the same. You're using the original as a reference, but you are not confined to only creating the exact replica. So if you drop some India ink somewhere, or you get a little aggressive with the size of the wing, that's okay. Don't worry about it. Your macaw is just a relative of the macaw we are currently copying. This final layer is where your image is really going to come alive. Very exciting. also might be a little nerve-wracking for you. That's okay. Feel free to continue using the graphite to go in and plot out what you are going to be focusing on. However, this time I am just going to use the photo as a reference and just keep focusing on where those darkest points are and the shapes and lines that the dark points are making. The final stage is getting this eye finished up. Eyes are so important anytime you're doing any sort of portraiture, human or animal. And it really involves studying what eyes actually look like. So take the time to really look at this parrot's eyes. It has a little bit of a shadow at the top, so I'm going to add that in and let it dry completely. If I add the pupil in before that shadow is dried completely, it's going to bloom and spread into the upper part of the eye, and that's just going to ruin the whole entire thing. So take the time to let it dry completely. Then with my Pure India ink, I'm doing a black ring around the iris. I'm going to make the pupil entirely black, and I'm going to do a little bit of detail around the eye itself. Less is more when it comes to eyes a lot of the time, so keep it simple. And if you're nervous about going in with a fine tip brush, perhaps think about using a fine tip Sharpie at this stage. You can also add in highlights with a white gel pen or pencil crayon. But overall, I'm much happier with this eye than my original parrot's eye, which did go a little haywire. So there you have it. Now you know how to create a parrot using 3 values plus white. I was going to demonstrate the forest for you as well, and my phone died halfway through the video and I didn't realize. So instead, I am going to show you the reference images and let you create your own foresty landscape. I can't wait to see what you come up with. Have fun, play, explore, and remember, none of this is supposed to be perfect. This is all about skill building.